Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Sam Williams-Dixon, SWD. We are over here at West Holmes High School in Millersberg, Ohio. I've never been to Millersberg, so as I was driving into this town, I'm expecting to see all these little buildings and these giant hills, and then I get over this one hill, and then here is this huge high school that I was surprised by, which I think is somewhat, like in line with your story a little bit, Sam. Like, what is a player of your caliber? I guess in a lot of people's mind, what are you doing in a small town like Millersburg, Ohio? But it just goes to show how college football recruiting is, because Ohio State offered you 2 nights ago, and I asked you a few moments ago off camera, but you don't seem to be shocked by it, because I don't think, and you said it hasn't really hit you yet, but what does it mean to you to get a phone call and say, hey, Ohio State wants you to play there?
Yeah, just to hear those words from just a kid from Ohio and just grew up Ohio State fan, it means a lot, but it just hasn't hit me yet.
So that was Wednesday evening. You tagged me in your tweet, but I was already in bed because I had been traveling since 3 a.m. from California that day, and so I didn't get a chance to see it till Thursday morning. Can you walk us through that conversation? I mean, who calls you? Who texts you? How does it work?
So after I text me, say, can I talk on the phone? And I waited a few minutes because I was watching this show on BT. It was called Tatima. It's a new show, so I was watching it. But so waited a few minutes, got done with the show. Then I ended up calling him. And
did you say, "Hold on, coach, I'm finishing a show"? Huh?
No, I didn't. I looked at my phone and I just didn't
leave him unread.
Yeah, but other than that, I called him back, and he talked to me, saying that he's very proud of me and wanted to show his appreciation of what I'm doing off the camera and off social media. But when he said those words that he wanted off me, it really hit me.
You know, that is a relationship that started last March, so we're at about 10 months now. Your first visit to Ohio State was March 8th of 2022. You went there on basically a junior day visit. Do you remember what it was like walking in there? And is it even in your mind that here we are 10 months later and you now have an opportunity to play football there? Or was it just like, hey, I'm from small town Ohio and I'm just getting the chance to do a cool thing?
It's actually funny because like when I first like met with him in this office, I was shy. I always looked somewhere else other than him. But like I was really shy. Didn't really talk to him that much. But I've grown a lot, and just I've been having deep conversations with him, telling him about my life. He telling me about his life and his wife and kids and all that. So
it's funny how a relationship can change once someone has beaten you up at a football camp with a foam bat, you know? And Tony Alford, the way that he runs the camp, you were there in June, got a chance to work with him in person. What was it about the way that he coached that you felt like, hey, if I got an opportunity, maybe this is someone I'd want to play for?
He was very verbal. He was making sure like I did this right. He was making sure I did everything he envisioned in his head that I did right. So,
do you feel like you've surprised yourself? I mean, again, I don't mean to keep belaboring the point, but I think the last Division I player from West Holmes High School was like in the 1970s or something like that. So it's been quite a while since anyone from this high school had an opportunity that you now have. Like, did you know you were this good at football? Is there a moment when you realize, hey, I have an opportunity to do something really special?
It was definitely a moment where I thought I was like, yeah, I can go play college ball and do my thing.
Do you remember what it was? What was that moment?
No, I don't remember the moment now.
Your coach said it was the first time he saw you run that he knew you were different. Where do you feel like as a player you've excelled? What do you think you do well that's drawn the attention of these coaches? How many offers do you have now?
I think 15, 14.
So in Ohio, we'll talk about this too, because this is sort of my pet peeve. I really believe spring football needs to be happening in Ohio, but that's neither here nor there. If your coach doesn't think so, I'm sorry. But I think it does. But no, when you're getting those offers, what are these coaches telling you? What are they seeing on film? What are they seeing from you as a person that makes them believe that you're this type of caliber player?
From what I've been hearing and what they've been telling me is just they can pretty much see how I just play on the field, I guess. pretty much. But they really see that. They really talk to my coaches and see that I'm a leader and that I'm not very like verbal, but I would say something when it needs to be said.
If people watch your film, they will probably see a very physical player. I've seen, playing cornerback where you come up and stick a guy on an end around, or that kind of stuff. Is it easy for you? Because you're a calm, low-key kid. How hard is it, or is it easy for you to flip that switch when the game starts to become that much more aggressive and that different of a guy?
I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's come along very, very very a little bit more easy, but because we train throughout the week and make sure I'm definitely ready to play both sides of the ball.
In your high school, you had your first state championship appearance, right, 2 years ago as a sophomore. You had 1,500 rushing yards that year. Can you tell us a little bit about your junior season? What went well? Where do you think you need to improve heading into your senior year?
My sophomore year, I was running away from people. I wasn't really physical, but I try to bring that physical caliber to my junior year, and I think it showed in my tape. So that's what I thought I improved on.
What type of back do you feel like you are? I mean, there's obviously the big power backs. You're what, about 6'1" ish, or 6 foot, 195 or so. Some guys like to think of themselves as a pass catcher, a guy that's a 3-down back. Do you see yourself fitting into a specific style of offense?
Well, kind of back I think I am is a basic running back, like a Dalvin Cook type running back. My favorite running back is Saquon Barkley, and he's kind of a Barry Sanders and a Bo Jackson mixed together. So.
That's a unique. That would be the greatest Tecmo Bowl player of all time, and it makes me wish that they had Tecmo Bowl now, because Barry Sanders on Tecmo Bowl was great, and Bo Jackson is the greatest video game football player of all time. So now you got me thinking. Who's your favorite team? You're up obviously here near Cleveland. Are you a Browns fan? Are you a Bengals fan?
I really don't have a favorite team. I just like players, I guess.
Smart. You didn't say Pittsburgh. Smart. For you, Sam, how is the relationship going with Tony Alford? I know you said you talk to him now a lot about deeper things. Would you say that relationship is better than what you have with other coaches? Is it on par with other coaches? And what do you think makes that relationship unique?
I really haven't been able to talk to a lot of more coaches because the dead periods and all that. But I try to reach out. They try to reach out to me, but I reach out to Tony more because I obviously live in Ohio and I can go out there whenever I want. So just yes.
Your process is going to enter a very unique phase here because you're the 7th player in Ohio in the class of 2024 to have an offer from Ohio State. Generally speaking, in this time of the year is when a recruit will start to see a lot of attention from around the country because coaches are on the road, coaches are able to stop in and see you. They're, checking out junior film extensively. But now that you have an offer from Ohio State and you're a kid from Ohio, what's likely to happen is that a lot of schools may not offer you because they think that you're going to end up committing to Ohio State at some point, and so they feel like maybe there's not a chance to get a real return on that investment. Do you feel like there's an expectation now that, hey, I'm going to commit to Ohio State, or is it harder to take it, or easier to take a step back and say, I still need to evaluate the entire playing field?
I think it's easy to me to take a step back and just, look at my options and know where not to go and where to go and coaches to talk to and not to talk to. So,
what's been the best piece of advice you've gotten in this process so far, and what has been the biggest adjustment or the biggest surprise to you in the recruiting process?
One thing that coach, I'm not gonna say a specific coach, but he told me to have blind faith, and I've been having it ever since summer. So, and the coach knows who I'm talking about, and he knows how I feel about that. So, and yeah.
In the recruiting world, a lot of it now is about who else do you know, right? So as I said, you're the 7th player in Ohio to have an offer from Ohio State. You're the 3rd up here in Northeast Ohio with Bryce West and Damarion Witten at Cleveland Glenville. Do you have relationships with any of these guys? Did you get a chance to meet them in the summer? And now that you're in this very exclusive club, is it automatically that you guys are talking and trying to figure out a plan? Or
yeah, I definitely talk to Jordan Marshall and Bryce West every now and then. We catch up every now and then. So especially during like sports, we get an offer. We show our respects. And
Jordan Marshall, Cincinnati Moeller High School running back, similar position. You guys are now 2 of, I think, 8 running backs offered by Tony Alford in this cycle. Ohio State, I think, is pretty clear that they're going to take 2 tailbacks in this class if they can. Has that been communicated to you, and how do you feel about potentially being a part of a 2-man running back class if it came down to it?
I think that would be cool. I think have that chemistry with that other back would definitely do some damage in the run game.
When Trey Henderson and Evan Pryor committed to Ohio State, they committed within 2 weeks of each other in the same class, the class of 2021. And they both said to me that one of the reasons that they liked the idea was because they knew that they would not have as many hits on their body in college as someone else. Right. Is that something that you start thinking about already? And because the goal obviously is to play in the NFL, right? But you have to get through college football first, and a lot of times playing a position like running back, it's not easy to get through it physically unscathed. Do you start to look at those big picture things like, training rooms, therapy sessions, like the things that are available, or is it still just about relationships?
It's still about relationships. I know all that stuff's there, the training and all that is there.
What is it that you're most looking for as you start to this? I don't know if you're winding down this process. I don't know if it's ramping up. I mean, it's not my business to know. It's your story. You'll write it as it goes. But what do you feel like are the most important things for you, Sam, in this process?
I feel like obviously football, but the education part is very key with me and my family. So we're going to level that out first, and then everything else after that.
What do you want to study in college? Let's say football's off the table. What is your life plan? Just spill it out. I mean, no pressure. What are you doing with the rest of your life?
I mean, I want to be a business accountant.
Okay.
I want to have like a business degree and on my own bank and either work there or have it my own. So
I can't wait to ask you if I can borrow $5. As I guess I'll just ask, do you feel like you're closer to winding down or ramping up in this process? I mean, again, because you said this hasn't really hit you yet, right. So I apologize if I'm putting it too much on you, but as you go into this upcoming next few days, the weekend, do you feel like your mind is able to process this opportunity, and how do you see it going from here? Right now,
not right now. I don't have an exact decision of what I want to do. Still, I talk to my family about all that, and I'll definitely say this, I'm taking it slow now, and then I'll definitely want to have my decision before our first game of my senior year.
That summertime decisions are the best decisions, because when you get it done, you don't have to deal with anything else. Other coaches around the country stop bugging you because they're all worried about their stuff, and you can just focus on winning a state championship. As that happens, what is on the docket for you as far as visits? Do you have a plan to get back to Columbus now that offer's in place? I know, again, we're coming up on that year anniversary of the first visit. They like to have a lot of guys from around the state come in and see spring practice, but have you talked to them about when your next plan is to get down to Columbus?
I've said something to the coaches there, and definitely want to get out more, get out to, I'll be in New Jersey this weekend with Rutgers. I'll definitely go see Coach Cedar in Penn State and Coach Alfred. I'll be at those three on the list right now.
There's a place at Rutgers. It's called Stuff Your Face. They're like a Stromboli place on campus. Every time we go to Rutgers, and somehow it always falls on my birthday. So I always end up having like a birthday bowlie at Stuff Your Face, and it's pretty great. So, look, there's a lot more we can talk about. I told you I'd keep this in a certain time window, so I want to make sure that I honor that. But I really do appreciate you taking time, Sam.
Thank you.
To join us on this show for the podcast. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. That's Sam Williams-Dixon, Ohio running back in the class of 2024 from West Holmes High School, and he now has an Ohio State offer and a lot of big decisions coming up. We will continue to follow that at the podcast and go to ohiostate.rivals.com. Thanks for watching.